And the countdown continues. Top 120, and this is part two. This is going to feature cards 80 to 41. Starting off with this hockey card here. One of, I think, a total of 3 hockey cards in my collection. This is the 85 Topps Mario Lemieux rookie. And I was kind of going back and forth as to whether or not I wanted a Topps PSA 9 or an OPC PSA 8. The OPCs command a much higher premium. In fact, I think even the OPC 8s sell for more than the Topps 9. But this looked really good, and I just went with this one too. It was a little bit less money. So Mario Lemieux checking in at number 80. 79 here. Freddie Freeman Topps Gold. This, I don't know what this is. I don't have pricing handy. I know at one time, and I think it was it last year? This sold for like close to $3,000, and then it came down. I think, you don't see a lot of these for sale. But there was a follow-up sale for much less than that. And I forget what that was. And I forget what I even have this comped at. I apologize. But whatever it is, it's ranked number 79 here. This Topps Gold Freddie Freeman. And yeah, just really nice, somewhat limited. I mean, there's going to be 2,011 of these cards. How many of them are PSA 10? I don't know. I haven't checked the pop report. But that's the one I went for when I was shopping for a Freddie Freeman rookie card. And then here's Stephen Curry, just a base Topps and a 9 at that. I paid $170. Oh, people! So by the way, this is like $110, and this was like $170. I got some feedback in my last video. People liked that I shared what I paid for these cards whenever it was that I purchased them. So yeah, that's a base, 9, and it is expensive because Topps basketball was very limited that year. I think, numbered to 999, and the refractors are numbered to 499 or something like that. So that's why these are very expensive, even in PSA 9. So there's a Stephen Curry rookie card. Here's a tough high number from 71 Topps, which is already tough to begin with because of those black borders. Dusty Baker, Tom Pashork, and Don Baylor. A rookie card here. Nice PSA 8. And this one was like $260-ish when I picked this thing up. And then Johnny Unitas. Purchased probably, had I waited a lot. Basically, if I didn't, buy anything in the last couple of years and I bought them all today, I'd save a ton of money. And this card is kind of included with that. This Unitas rookie, 57 Topps, and a nice 6.5. Centering is pretty good. At first glance, it does look perfect, but it is off a little bit. If you stare hard enough, you pick up a hint of a tilt. But still a nice card. And this one, I think, was like $2,200. When I bought it, whenever that was. Okay, moving on. 75 is another 1971 Topps, the Roberto Clemente, 7.5, paid about $480. And this would have been almost 3 years ago. Before, this was one of the cards that I used with video game money. So I don't know if you follow my channel. Early COVID, I had the idea I wanted to liquidate my video game collection, and I unloaded a bunch of really rare games. That at the time, video games weren't a big deal, and I used the funds. This is one of the cards that basically I got for free, and so here it is. Centering is okay. There's a little more black border here on the left than on the right, and just a super nice card. 71s are very tough. Tom Brady, Topps Chrome in a 10. This is one of many cards. Actually, I bought this as a group. I bought this one. This came with the other one he has from that set, the weekly wrap-up. And it was just one vacation. I remember I was sitting there, wherever we were, and just buying stuff on eBay. This would have been like summer of 18 or something like that. And I believe the two cards together were like around $200, both PSA 10s. And this is his first Topps Chrome card. So, obviously not the rookie, but the significance of it being its first Topps Chrome, which carries a little bit more weight, I guess. If there's one card that I ever thought about upgrading, it's this one. I mean, this Walter Johnson looks like it spent the summer and stuck to the inside of a gorilla's ass crack. I mean, it's a 1.5, but this wouldn't look out of place in an authentic holder, to be quite honest. I don't know. This was like a $400 card, just under $400. And, in hindsight, I wish I kind of upped my game a little bit and got a nicer, cleaner copy, because that yellow looks really good in the background. But, certainly well loved. I mean, you got some paper loss here, all kinds of problems with this card. And it's a very generous 1.5, in my opinion, for Walter Johnson. Another Mickey Mantle. Part of the registry run, my unregistered registry set, 62 Topps, and again, where I deviated from my original plans of getting 7s, this obviously a 6.5, $360, if memory serves me. So the centering's pretty good. I mean, maybe a little more on top than on bottom, perhaps. I don't know, is that just the card in the slab? Yeah, maybe it is better. Well, it's pretty good nonetheless for the 62 Topps Mickey Mantle. And another 71 makes the list. Nolan Ryan, big card. Not perfectly centered, but well enough, certainly to earn the 8. And, you don't see any chipping here on this border. And this one was around about $350-ish. When I was building my Nolan Ryan run that I talked about, I think, in the last video. Next one, this I guess would be what? Number 70. And a really difficult card to comp. I guess I'm the comp on this one, this 1932 U.S. Caramel Yankees Hall of Fame catcher Bill Dickey. Really nice PSA 5. In fact, this had that, it still does. It had that bullshit sticker on the back. As if you can't tell how nice the card looks with your own set of eyes, you could feel like it's more validated if somebody else said it looks good for you, right? But, 32 U.S. Caramels, they've dried up. I mean, years ago, I'd see these on eBay. I'd see Ruth, I'd see Gehrig, and now if you want those types of cards, like this one, you've got to go to probably one of those premier auction houses. This, at the time, was one of those eBay deals where I was able to determine the seller. Sometimes the seller will have like their company info and their About Me page on eBay, and from which I could actually determine what the phone number is and just call them directly and work that out that way. And you accomplish a couple things. One, you get the card for a little less than what it's listed for, and you also avoid sales tax. So that's kind of like what I try to do when I'm negotiating stuff on eBay, and I can find out the seller has an online presence elsewhere. Classic card from the 80s, Rickey Henderson rookie. PSA 9. This was 200 and... was it 270 or 170? It was like 240, $50 range. This one went up as high as like $4,000 to $5,000, a couple years ago. It's come back down a fair amount. I don't know what it's worth right now. Honestly, a lot of these values, they really fluctuate. There's still not a lot of stability. I might have picked a couple off the list to update from what I had them priced out maybe a month ago in preparation for this series of videos I'm going to do. And even the price has changed like, a few $100 in either direction in some cases for these cards. But I kind of left them where they were in the spreadsheet. Here's a card where there's probably a bazillion of these out there. Just a basic Topps update. Mike Trout. I don't know. The pop on this is pretty high, I think. This one was $325, and I do remember there were so many available at the time, and I purchased it, and then not long after, I saw several going for under $300, and I started getting a little post-purchase anxiety or buyer's remorse, whatever you want to call it. And then, it took off, but it's nowhere near its highs like a lot of these. I think this one's around, looking at 7, Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. You can see for yourself on eBay. Another mantle here, another 6.5. And this one was also in the $350 range. That seemed to be like my budget, apparently. Back when I was acquiring these, I only had so much money at the time I could allocate for sports cards. And I didn't, make anywhere near the kind of purchases that I do now or have over the last couple of years. And then here's a LeBron James Rookies and Stars base and a PSA 10 bought for like $270, something like that. And that brings us to what? 65, I guess? Something like that. Roy Campanella. And I mentioned it in, I think, a prior video. Didn't know that this card existed in this grade from the auction house until Andrew Enough Said Cards pointed it out to me. And so because of him, I'm able to have this card in my collection. I'm grateful that he was able to tip me off at the time. It's a nice, 8. The card itself is not rare. You don't see a lot of 8s. This looks really good. And it's just a card that I like because of just a classic vintage looking card to me. So another mantle, 54 Bowman. Again, so this is 1954, and I went with a 4. This, wasn't cheap. For me at that time, maybe 500 to 600-ish for this card. It's nice looking, though. It's nicely centered. It's clean. I haven't really scrutinized it a whole hell of a lot to determine why. Maybe there's like a wrinkle somewhere or a small crease. But it certainly looks better than the grade, in my opinion. Here's one that has to get cracked out, and I feel like it's going to be a real biatch to bust this slab open and safely remove this Ted Williams. Really nice looking Ted. My only Ted Williams, I think. BVG 4. And so I kind of price this out in like a PSA 2 to 3 range because I don't know. I think historically BVGs are going to grade lower if they're a PSA slab. So I'm being really conservative in regard to its placement here on the list, but I think it looks great. This 41 Playbot. But yeah, I'm going to have to probably go online to figure out how to crack open BVG slabs properly without, destroying the card. A little Ultra. Is this Ultra Modern? I don't know. This is 2016. When's the cutoff? This guy. What a shame. He still has time to redeem himself. There's always be that mark of a PED, right? But just a nice blue refractor. I bought this for like $240. 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. I don't know anymore, but just really like that blue. Remember the seller that I bought this from was like, hey, I got a couple of greens if you're interested. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm good with the one blue. The greens were like maybe $100 more. Those are numbered at 99. That's numbered at 150. Another mantle. 59 Topps, PSA 6, about 500 and... No, actually, 400 something dollars, I think. A little bit of snow here. Centered okay. I mentioned before, if I were to do it all over again, I would probably go for higher grades. I guess I should say that. At the time, if I could have, I would have gone for higher grades. But I was a little more responsible with how I allocated my resources. But here is another, and that's from the same set, right? Yeah, Bowman Chrome. This one, Vladimir Guerrero, purple refractor out of 250, purchased just before he was called up to the bigs. And whatever year that was, he hit like 15 home runs that year, but it was in February. So remember the seller was like, hey, it's gonna go up, card's gonna go up. I'm like, yeah, I know. And it was like $300, like $290 something for Vladimir. But I try to, my collecting, I do try to sprinkle in some of the modern stuff with the vintage stuff and the really vintage stuff. Sometimes I can go off on a tangent. I'm hoping to kind of reel myself back in a little bit this year in regards to how I'm collecting and be a little bit more selective. Brings us to, and I don't know what number we're at. It's so easy for me to lose track unless I put a post-it note on here. But this is going to be, well, if that's 40, 45, 50, 51, 52, 50, I think this is number 54. 53, 52, 51. Yeah, I think it's 54. This Rod Carew rookie card, another card I purchased on vacation, just sitting there, just hitting, buy it now or whatever. This actually was from Red Zone Sports Cards. That I remember. Red Zone, and what the hell was this one? 600. Yeah, I forget, but anyway, that's where I got that one. Another card purchased with video game sales COVID money. There's actually a few cards. There was the you'll see some more later, but I mean, I got an Upper Deck Tom Brady, the Ty Cobb Red, that Clemente. These are all purchased with stuff I sold on eBay in 2020. And so here's the rookie, Reggie Jackson, and a 7.5. Nice 7.5. Love half grades. If you haven't figured it out by now. And a little bit of a tilt maybe to the image. I don't know. If I hold it this way, might be a little bit more white border here than here, but I'm not going to nitpick. Okay, this card I purchased because I was looking to see what cards did Tom Brady have from 2001, and there weren't many. Maybe 3 different cards. This being one of them, maybe 4. I don't know, but this one, 2001 Upper Deck Rookie Effects, Tom Brady. And this one was 275-ish, around about there when I bought it. And, again, not a rookie card, but one of his few cards from 2001. It's Tom Brady. Real cool card here. I love this. 82 Topps Henderson. $115. I was attempting to do with Ricky Henderson what I'd already done with Mickey Mantle and Nolan Ryan, and that was kind of build out his run. And then what happened was I gave up on it when I saw that like 1999, 2000, 2001 cards in PSA 10 were a few $100s. And I pulled the plug on that little endeavor to kind of build up his base run. So I was going for, nines, the 9 rookie and the 10s all the way up. And then when I got into the real junk wax stuff, the gold, or if there was a Tiffany, I would do that. And I got a fair amount of the way through it, but I gave up when some of those later 90s cards of all things, just you didn't see them in PSA 10 grade. And so that was that. Here's Montana, which brings us to 55, 40, 45, 50. Yeah, 55, I guess. Base 9, purchased for under $400. And yeah, it's all right. Centering is a little more border on the left than on the right, but it's a nice card to have. PSA 10s of this are like what, 20, 30 grand, crazy. Up next is a really nice Mickey Mantle. In fact, this one I want to get reviewed. The only thing I can think of that's wrong with this as to why it got the 7 is maybe the registration is off. But even the guy that I bought it from was like, he didn't get it. He thought it'd be like an 8, 8.5. The corners are so sharp on this card. Centering is, it's okay. It's good. But I don't know if you could pick it up here on camera. It just seems like the focus is just a little bit off on this one. Just a touch. But is that why it only earned the 7? So anyway, this is a candidate. I might submit this for a review someday. See what they say about it. I'd love to get a bump on that. It's a nice looking card. Jackie. Wanted a Jackie Robinson. I remember saying, I want a Jackie card. What can I get that's cheap? And this was the cheapest one, being his last card, I think. And this one sent me back $475. This is a PSA 7. Nice looking card. Jackie. And this card, I missed out on it the first time I saw it, and it popped up like 2 months later, and I wasn't going to miss out again. And I guess it cost me an extra $100 or so by not jumping on it the first time. This Bob Gibson rookie, 6.5. The centering is outstanding, and that's one of the reasons why I was all over this card. I thought about it a little too long, and then boom, it was gone. But then it showed up, like I said, I think 2 months later, and I think it was $725. I think the first time it sold, it was like for $600, and then I bought it for $725. Just a really nice looking card, Bob Gibson rookie. And here's a symbol of the sports card nonsense COVID era. How the mighty have fallen, and I think I mentioned this with Kobe, but this is LeBron, Topps Chrome. So this card is what? This is going to be 51. So at one time, this card was a top 10 card for me. At one time, this was like a $12,000 card. And that's insane. I went back and looked at the video I did in, I think it was February of 20 or March of 20, where I kind of go through my top 50 basketball cards, and I was going through the pricing at the time. I mean, I think even the Kobe 9 was like $11,000 card, which is ridiculous. But here this one sits now at number 51, and I want to say it sells for like under like $1,700-ish range. I mean, you'll see some go for like $1,400. You'll see some go for like $2,100. You'll see some nutbag that hit the buy it now for $2,500 and doesn't care. But I want to say this is like around the $1,700, $1,800 range. This LeBron James Topps Chrome 9. And so that'll bring us into the 40s here, 49. 5, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 43, 42, 40. Yeah. So 49 is another Mantle, another nicely centered 6.5. I like this one a lot. $350 for this. Yeah, it just looks great. I always search for half grades on eBay when I'm looking for vintage stuff. I still feel like they're not searched for as much as they could be or should be. Maybe some people don't like them, but I certainly find a lot of value in the half grades. Another Mantle here, 57. This was very hard for me to find. This was maybe the last one. I think I made a video about it. Hard to find centered. At least I had a hard time finding it centered. So I found this one, which I thought looked pretty good. It's a 6. Old flip. Hopefully the thing is broken here. Oops. The surface is a little bit weak, I guess. Perhaps it's got maybe some snow or something going on, but other than that, I think it looks fine. This was $575. Yeah, it looks good. Looks good for a 6. I would occasionally dabble in the basketball card space. This was, I think, the only one of maybe only 2 insert cards I sought out. This is my favorite Jordan insert card, the Ultra Scoring Kings in a 9. This was around $400 and something. Yeah, 10s were like, at the time of I got this one, were like around $2,000, and I don't want to spend that kind of money. There's really nothing wrong with this card. I don't know. Maybe there's a slight little touch down there. Or if that's just part of the... I don't know. But anyway, just a slick looking card. Scoring Kings, Michael Jordan. Here's another card everybody probably has in their collection already. There's also a bazillion of these. 89 Upper Deck. Ken Griffey Jr. Star Rookie. Wanted to have it in a 10. I bought a 9. I submitted a raw one, got an 8, and I got this 10 here for like $375, $400. They're all over the place. They still are. They were then. They are now. There's so many of these things out there. And yeah, this one came down quite a bit. I forgot what it peaked at. Maybe around $5,000 for this. And so that brings us to what? 46. Just a base Fleer Jordan 9. Bought this for $325. And I believe at the time, 10s were in the $3,000 range. I don't know what they go for now, 10s anyway, but just a nice second year Jordan. Before I acquired the rookie, it was one of those things where I'll never own the rookie card. Let me go for the second year and the highest grade I'm comfortable paying for, and it was the 9. And then later on, I ended up with the rookie, and you'll see that in the next video, part 1, or part 3. Okay, gonna run out the final 5 here. Looks like we're doing what is it? 1, 2, 3. This is gonna be 45, and it's this Willie Mays from 54. Just a base Mays, nothing special. PSA 6, high grade, I guess. Nicely centered. This one was around $1,200, $1,300. Maybe it was like $1,100. I don't remember. Bought early in 20. That I do remember. So it was still relatively reasonable. I think now that sells for like a little over $2,000 or so. In that grade. 54 Red Heart Mantle. I did deviate from his registry a little bit by getting some of these sort of obscure issues, and I've got this one here, this dog food one, and then I got the Dan D also, which you'll see in the next video. Really nice looking card. Centering is off a little. There's more white on the right than there is on the left. It's 4.5. This was not expensive. This was somewhere in the $400 range, maybe, when I picked it up. Red Heart Mickey Mantle. Dr. J. PSA 8, and definitely has 8 quality, especially with that centering. This was bought from 4 Sharp Corners, when $799 was a good price for this card. So that's why I'm into this for. $799, $800. Now it's whatever, two plus maybe. Dr. J. And another card silly card that went up to, oh my gosh, I think like $9,000 or something for this. Just the regular old Topps PSA 10 LeBron rookie. Not a very good looking card, but an important card because it's this Topps flagship rookie. Yeah, crazy. Think about what it was like. And then card number 41 here is a favorite of many collectors out there. Myself included. 71 Topps Thurman Munson. 7.5 grade, which trying to think I don't remember what I paid for this one. It was I'm not sure if it was a little under or a little over $500. But, real nice centering here. It's not perfect, but it's well enough. And maybe the half grade knock from the 8 is this corner up here is a little bit round. There's an ever so touch up here. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. I think it's this corner that knocked it from an 8 to a 7.5. Otherwise, looks great. You see these off-centered a lot. Thurman Munson. Thought about doing his run. It's easy. I just don't like some of those cards. So it's like I don't really like the way the card looks. I don't want to buy the card. Like I think his 74, 79. I think those cards look terrible. Anyway, so that will conclude this particular portion of the Mega Countdown. Up next will be the best of the best, the top 40 cards in my collection. So stay tuned for that. Maybe later this week I could have that rolled up on Friday, somewhere around there. I'm thinking that I can get that up and scheduled. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you then.